coming from an immigrant background, you see both sides, because you see how your parents suffer and what they are going through to try and make a better life for you, because that's all we ever want for our offsprings, for our children, is a better life than what we had. And that's why my parents were so adamant on me becoming a lawyer, a doctor, or an accountant for financial security, which is what they didn't have. But one thing I know that a lot of immigrants have is that hustler's mentality. Because you come from nothing, you have nothing to lose. Like, you give, it can't get any worse for me. So I'm going to give this my all. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But there is nothing that is going to stop me. And I think people gravitate to that hustler's mentality, and it really does make you stand out, because you don't care. So you can be unapologetically you. Like, nobody can ever... social media does create a lot of pressures, and society in general creates a lot of pressures. But the people who excel beyond those social conformities are people who don't adhere to them, who are like, I'm going to do whatever I want because I'm trying to make something of myself. I don't want to see my family suffer. And once they achieve that, they're able to create a foundation, an infrastructure where they can create wealth, not just riches. They can create wealth for their children's children. And that's what it's about for some people. And it's even better when you're doing something you love, because sometimes we have to do the things we hate in order to do the things we love. Whether it's I worked at Marks and Spencer's, a retail company in the UK, for 5 years doing a night shift, and then I'll be going to studio. So I was hardly getting sleep. I'd be sleeping 2 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes I'd be up for 2-3 days straight, or just on Red Bull and some energy drinks. So it really does give you a different perspective. And people that take stuff for granted because they didn't have to suffer like that, they tend to lose that edge and that hunger. That hunger is everything. Even now, I'm still hungry. I know I've got a house, I've got a jacuzzi on the way, I've got 2 dogs. I'm easy, really and truly. I should just be sitting and just enjoying the accomplishment that I've enjoying the things I've accomplished, should I say. But the hunger is even more now than ever at its peak. I want this more than the air I breathe, and by any means necessary, I will go and get mine, regardless of if anybody tells me no, or if anybody doesn't believe in me. I do this for the people who are suffering, for the people who are on the come up, for people who are ambitious. I'm doing this for them as well, not only just me, to show them that, look, I'm an immigrant my parents are immigrants, and I'm from Nigerian descent, living in London, where racism is rife, and it's a dog-eat-dog world out here. But you can make it, so much so that my music has transcended location and made it all the way to America. So it's a blessing, and I do not take any of this for granted. I remember, I'll tell you, so I was performing at I can't remember what event it was or what festival it was, and someone put me on like a set that is not related to my music at all. So it was a crowd that came for a specific sound, specific music. Now, I personally don't care. I'm like, yo, they booked me for this. You're here. You're gonna have to watch me whether you like it or not. So I'm performing, and then I catch a girl's eye, and then she looks at me, she yawns and folds her arms. I tell you, that shit threw me off. I almost forgot my lyrics. I turned to my DJ, I was like, yo, did you see that? He looked at me like, yeah, I saw that. Did you see that? I was like, I'm gonna throw this microphone at her head. But I found it funny, but it really did humble me. It was like, just don't ever be too full of yourself. Like, there's some people that are not gonna like your music, and music is subjective. It's an opinion. Don't get disheartened because of it. Just take it on the chin, and keep it pushing. And then the other story I have was when I was in France. I did a show with one of my boys. It was a turn-up song. I was on 10. My shirt was off. I was jumping around, I was screaming, blah, blah, blah. And then France, they get busy in France. It was full capacity. It was packed out, full show. So that the crowd came on the stage. The whole first 4 rows on the stage, mobbing, jumping. Some girl came up to me. She put her hand on my chest. Hand went from my chest all the way down to she just grabbed my dick. I was like, what is going on? I was like, okay. It was one of them ones I couldn't really do anything. She fully just grabbed my dick. I was like, bruh, is this how French girls are? Do I have to move to France? Is this what's gonna happen? But I don't get to tell what happens on tour. What happens on tour stays on tour. You get me? So I left tour and then I went back home.